Hey Libra, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. It is July and I have a love reading for you, Libra. One thing you may notice, if you've been here before, you'll know that I shuffle and draw as I go. We both experience, as you're watching this video and as I'm recording it, we're both experiencing and learning about these things at the same time. Everything's already drawn today. Now, that's not something that I'm going to start doing. I'm not a big fan of that. I like us both to be learning and watching at the same time and experience the story unfold in front of our very eyes as to what's going on in our lives. But today's a special occasion. I drew everything and I went over all the meanings and all that stuff, and it turned out I forgot to hit the record button. So I spent a good 30 minutes going over this with nobody. I didn't want to rob you of the meaning that's laid out here today, because it's what you need to hear. It's what came out. So I'm going to go ahead and go through these. We'll talk about what's going on. That way, Libra, you can get through and make the best of, your day, make the best of the situation at hand, and hopefully give you a little bit of forewarning instead of no warning at all. So Libra, it's kind of weird because I already know. It feels so weird, because I already know the whole. You have the King of Wands. The King of Wands is power, it is authority, loyalty. Keep loyalty in mind. That is the main thing about that one. You also have the King of Swords, which is rational communication. It's being able to convey the truth in a clear and concise way. When you speak what is on your mind, you mean what you say. It's not clouded with emotion. You mean what you say. And then you have the Lovers. The Lovers is, a lot of times people will conjoin it with soulmates and various other things. I like to pin it to values, core values, because those, to me, is the most important thing of a relationship. If you don't think of core values like a foundation. If you build your foundation on a firm concrete slab, it's solid, it's not going anywhere, you can build a house on it and it'd be sturdy. But if you try to build that same relationship on water, it's not going to stand. The slightest push is just going to knock the whole thing over. Libra, what this is ridiculous strength in a relationship, a very loving, a very honest. This is the type of energy that someone should be thankful that their partner is showing that. This is loyalty. Loyalty is huge in a relationship. This is truth. This is the ability to convey that truth. It's not like you're hiding things. You're clear, you're in the open. And you have very strong conjoined values right now. You are seeing things clearly. You are seeing things with authority, loyalty, power. You are in a really good place. Your energy is radiating what people dream of having. That energy, ridiculous. Don't lose it. It doesn't get much better than that. So let's go over your partner, your interest, whoever this person may be. They're leading it off with the Eight of Swords, which is feeling trapped, which is restricted. It's the truth. They're not seeing it clearly. Then they have the World, which is the whole situation is coming full circle. It's the learning lesson at the end of the road. It's you've reached the end of a cycle. You've reached the end of the road, and you can see everything. You've completed that cycle. You've gotten everything there is to get out of that cycle. And they also have the Four of Wands, which is celebration. It's a lot of people will liken this to weddings, and sometimes in circumstance it can be. It can be something that prolific. And in your case, it may be that. Here is where we have the disconnect. You have clear strength. You have clear goals. You have clear passion. Like Libra, I cannot stress enough. This is ridiculous. This is amazing. This is wonderful. This energy is uplifting. They recognize that. They feel that, but they're afraid. They're hesitating because on one end, they have what they know what they want is celebration. They want to be happy. Most people want to be happy. They really want to be happy. They have seen the totality of this phase of your relationship. If you've been, let's say, just casually seeing each other, okay? It's could be used just a basic example. You could be casually seeing each other, and this person get to the point where they understand that you have gotten all you can get out of the casual relationship. There's nowhere else to go with it other than completing the cycle of a casual relationship into exclusive dating, an exclusive relationship. But they're restricted. They are trapped. They are not seeing it clearly. The truth is not quite able to be grasped. This is somebody who may be very reluctant, very hesitant to make a new move. This is that person that you ask if they want to go out and do something. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. So the point of interest, the actual issue at hand, is the relationship itself. The end of a subjective truth has turned into a real truth, or the end of a real truth, the truth, has turned into a subjective truth. That is what the Ten of Swords means. The end of one, the beginning of another. Then they have the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Swords is deception. It is being deceived. It is lying to either others or lying to oneself. We can deceive ourselves. It is possible. We do it all the time. We think things that are not true. And hopefully the truth comes to light. Then you have strength, which is bold moves, which is power in the romance. It is strength in the relationship. It is the ability to go forward with confidence in your actions. The future of the relationship is in question. Is the strength there to go forward, or is there not? With you, you're ready. You are ready to go. You are confident. You know who you are. You know what your values are. You know what you stand for. And they see that. They're happy, but they're questioning things. Cold feet. This truth of the relationship has changed because they realize that the relationship is at its end of this phase. They've reached the end of the casual dating phase. But they've deceived themselves into thinking that the relationship either doesn't have the potential to get stronger, or that they don't have the strength to make it go forward. So what we have here is a relationship where the wheels are spinning. You're the one holding down the gas, they're the one holding down the brake. So you have two very polar opposites right now in moving forward in this phase of the relationship. I don't like that. You don't like that. So I asked two questions of my, this is something I mentioned when I was recording for nobody, that if you read tarot, you may already know this, but if you're a beginner to it, if you're new to it, my suggestion is always have a second deck. I have way more than 2 decks, but if you're just beginning and you have one deck, I always suggest having a second one for clarification. It's nice having something fresh that's not been used already to give you additional meanings for whatever questions you may have. Sometimes you never need to ask a question, but like today, I had 2 questions. I'm gonna go over the first one, which is about them, and then I'm gonna go over the second one, which is about you. The first question was, what are they afraid of? What is causing them to feel trapped? They had the 5 of Cups, which is grief, disappointment. It's being disappointed. I mean, like, it's emotional disappointment, thinking that what you had was great and it turns out not to be. Then they have the Tower. The Tower is a drastic change, a huge change. My wife she has the best word for it, and the best phrase for it, and that's having the rug pulled out from under you. Drastic, huge change. And then they have the Fool, which is taking new chances. It's a leap of faith. It's a blind leap. This person is afraid that things are going to fall apart. Now, it's kind of interesting here. This isn't necessarily what's going on, but they're afraid that things are going to fall apart, so they don't want to change the status quo. They're content with how things are because it's comfortable, because it's working, but it's not moving forward. They're afraid that if they make a commitment, they're going to, the possibility of their whole world being turned upside down and it turning out for the worst. So they're afraid to take that plunge. They're afraid to take that jump because this is unknown. This next phase is unknown. It's like getting married. You don't know what's next. You don't know. Most people want the journey. This person is afraid to take that step because in their mind, he's on the edge of a cliff. The Fool in this image is on the edge of a cliff, and he's about to take a step right off of it into the unknown. Now, in their mind, what's at the bottom of that cliff? It's either water, they're gonna hit it, they're gonna swim, and it's gonna be great, or it's gonna be jagged rocks. You can kind of understand the hesitation. You really think about it objectively. The last thing you want to do is jump off blindly and then hit all the jagged rocks head first. Not going to end well. You jump into the water, it's great. You have survived the jump. You are now in an area that is familiar. You know how to swim, or you at the bottom of it holding out your hand. I'll teach you to swim. It's a little real romantic there, but definitely hear that in a movie. But you kind of see what's going on here. The person is hesitating. They're afraid. Deep down, they're afraid. The second question was advice for you, Libra. What can Libra do? What is things that Libra can take into consideration? 7 cards came out. 7. Normally I draw things in 3. But as I was drawing, it was just like, there's more to be told. So I ended up with 7. So this might take a minute, and I apologize. But these first 2 are things you need to understand. The Hierophant came out, which is conformity, which is tradition, which is following, the set path. And the second one is the 10 of Wands, which is burden, being overwhelmed. Your willpower is in flux. You don't know what to do. This is for you to understand that the current situation is going to require conformity. It's going to require, you have to understand that conformity is part of the equation. You cannot just swipe it aside. This person is set in a way, they know the thing that they see. They're burdened. This burden, personally, I think that they have some demons in their past or demons in their present, but not in the case, not in the way that affects them directly. But I think it's lessons that they have learned over time that is affecting their judgment. They may see, maybe their parents, maybe they had a really bad childhood because their parents, were bad people. They got divorced and, one of them left, or, whatever that may be. Or maybe they have a coworker who is saying, don't get married. That's the worst thing you could ever do is get married. You should live like me for, 60 years unmarried. Well, that's great for that coworker, but that's not, their relationship is not yours. But you have to understand the reality of the situation. They have burden, and you're going to shoulder some of it if you want this to work. You truly are. The next part is something to watch out for. The Emperor leads that off. The Emperor is bold moves, it's power, it's authority, it's the leader, it's control. Now, the Emperor in and of itself can be good, can be bad. Sometimes we need to take control of a situation. Sometimes we need to have clear defined roles and rules and responsibilities. And we need to be bold, and sometimes we need to have that power and that drive, that aggressive drive. That drive is good when you're trying to get a raise, or when you're trying to, I don't know, whatever it is that you need strength. But in this case, being bold, being aggressive will lead you to ruin. The devil himself, itself, whatever the devil wants to be, the devil is not a good thing. It is toxicity, it is lies, deceit, it is pain, suffering, it is the worst possible thing. What this is telling you, if you push, you will fail. More or less, don't be the one to try to lead the situation, at least in a bold way, because all it's going to do is solidify their mind in the direction that you do not want it to go. Right now, your foot is in the door. If you try to bust the door down, they're going to slam it shut, and you're out. You're done. This phase will never move on. You will have lost your chance. So you might be thinking, Libra, well, what do? I can't be aggressive. I can't be bold. Well, the answer is in Temperance. The answer is actually pretty good. You got the Queen of Cups, which is feminine energy, which is openness, which is being emotionally available, professing how you feel, channeling rationally. You use the power that you have right now, that rational communication, that loyalty. Prove that you are stable, you are sturdy. And it's not going to be an instantaneous thing. It's not going to be a you walk up, hey, I'm the most stable thing you ever had. That may actually make them think, well, that's a very unstable thing to say. It's like, now you're trying to talk me into doing something. I don't like that. You need to show it with your action. You have the Three of Wands, which is the willpower for growth, which is expansion, which is moving toward the future. You need to show that you have the best interest of the relationship, of them and of you, of the us in the forefront. You need to show them that you are sturdy, you are a rock, you are power, but you are also loving, you are warmth, you are something, you are the candle in the window for them to walk through the storm. You're the lighthouse. Man, that one flopped big time, but that's what you need to be. You need to be that lighthouse for them to travel through, so they don't hit the jagged rocks. Above all, Ace of Wands, which is inspiration, which is creativity of will. This messaging, all in all, is just take your time. Take your time. Don't rush it, but don't stop. Use your inspiration, use your creativity to keep, I don't want to say keep the pressure on, but to make sure that they know that you still want the future. You still want it. Don't let them forget that. What you don't want to do, like, it's a weird place. It's a rock and a hard place because your foot's in the door. If you try to shove the door open, they're going to slam it shut and you're out. If you pull your foot out, then they're going to shut the door and you're out. So this is one of those, you got your foot in the door, and keep edging it open. Keep talking to them, but don't be aggressive. This might be the time to use your inspiration and ask them sincere, deep questions. It could be as simple as, depending on your situation, Libra, every person's situation is different, but your particular situation, being absolutely final and direct might be your best option. Walk up to them and say, hey, what is causing you what is holding you back? What is making you hesitate? What is the actual problem? And if they start opening up to you, well, that's the door opening. And then you show that feminine energy. You show that openness. Help them to rely on you. And the more they rely on you, the more they will trust you. And the more they trust you, that'll help them get that blindfold off. So they're not blinded. They're not deceiving themselves. And then you both can finalize that cycle and bask in a good, healthy relationship that has led by the lovers. This could be you if you are smart about it. But Libra, you are a smart person. You truly are. You're listening to me. Self-indulgence aside, you really are. And you have power, you have passion, you have truth on your side, you have the ability to convey that truth. Use all those assets, and please, 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 don't lose it. Don't become discouraged. Don't doubt your own ability to be the best person that you truly are, because then they're going to see that, and they're not going to see that concrete foundation. They're going to see a house built on water. And like I said, the slightest push, that house will fall. And whatever phase that you're in will either stay that phase forever, or it'll just completely fall apart. And we all know what that means. Libra, I have faith in you. You got this. Make it work. Make the change. You have the power to do this. So with that said, if you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that. If you're a returning viewer, thanks again for coming back to hear what I have to say. And if you're new here, thank you as well for giving me a shot and hearing the messaging that I have here. So with that, Libra, I'll catch you next time.